Hello and welcome to this lecture. This is a conceptual walkthrough of EC2 instances. Okay, so what are EC2 instances? Well, EC2 instances are virtual servers on AWS, period. Don't worry, we are also going to understand and learn how do we create them and what all components are involved in the creation of EC2 instances. So, the process begins with selection of the right AMI. Now, this brings us to our question, what is an AMI? An AMI is Amazon Machine Image, and the name pretty much gives it away. They are predefined images of various Windows and Linux versions with multiple combinations of software packages already installed on them. So you do not have to reinvent the wheel. Suppose you want to create an Ubuntu server, a CentOS server, or a specific version of Windows server. You will have the images there. You just need to select the AMI from whom you actually want to create an instance. And that is why we call EC2 instances, because they are an instance of the AMI you have selected. Next stage is defining the size of your EC2 instances, and Amazon has already provided a set of options available from where you can actually create these EC2 instances. So these options are a combination of vCPUs and RAMs. So when you select one of these options, you have basically zeroed in on the size, which is a combination of, once again, vCPU and RAM of your EC2 instance. Then comes the stage wherein you actually define the network for your EC2 instance. Why do we need to do this? Okay, so can we have an EC2 instance without an IP address? I don't think so, right? Now, where do we get this IP address from? Some sort of network, right? Now, we will understand networks more in next conceptual walkthrough of VPC, but to understand this section, it is sufficient for us to understand that Virtual Private Cloud, that's VPC, they provide us the way to create virtual network on AWS. And VPCs have multiple subnets, at least one subnet within it. And these subnets have IPs available. So since our EC2 instances, they need IP, right? That is why they're placed inside a subnet. And since a subnet is part of a VPC, we need to first select the VPC, then the subnet under it. Now, once that is done, there comes a very interesting area which is called user data. Okay, you want to install Apache on your EC2 instance. How would you do that? There are two options available. Either you install Apache once this EC2 instance is made available to you, or while it is spinning up, you provide the commands to install Apache, download and install Apache on this EC2 instance in the user data section, so that when this EC2 instance is up and running and is available to you, it already has Apache installed on it. So user data makes that possible for you. Once that is done, we select the storage, that is how much storage we are going to attach with this EC2 instance and what kind of storage. And then we again come to the networking part, which is defining or creation of security groups. Now, why do we need security groups? Okay, we were just talking about installing and downloading Apache. So we would do that if we want to create a web server, right, on the EC2 instance. Now, for the web server, we need port 80 to be open. Otherwise, whatever website or page we would install would not be accessible, right? So we need port 80 open. Another example, we want to access our Linux instance, EC2 instance. For that, we need to SSH into it. For that, port 22 must be open. So for various actions, we need various ports open on these EC2 instances, and security groups provide us a way to do that. As simple as that. Now, last but not the least, key pairs. Okay, this is how I see this whole concept of key pairs and why do we need key pairs while creating EC2 instances. This is another layer of security. It is called key pair because the lock is with AWS and the key is with us. So when we select a specific key pair where the key is already with us, AWS attaches the lock with the EC2 instance, and since we have the key, we can open up this lock with the key that's available to us. So another layer of security, but please ensure that you are keeping the key very securely and it is at a safe place. If somebody gets access to your key, your servers are vulnerable, right? So that's pretty much it. As and when we have defined all these configurations and settings, EC2 instances, they are spinned up. All right. Thank you and looking forward to seeing you in the next section.